Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. Yang amat berhormat Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia. Yang berhormat Tuan Muhammad Rafizi Ramli, Minister of Economy Malaysia. Yang berhormat Dato Seri Syarani bin Muhammad, Chief Minister of Perak. Yang berhormat Dato Hajah Hanifah binti Taib, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Economy. Excellencies Ambassadors, yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Muhammad Baki bin Muhammad Saleh, Chairman of Petronas, Yang Mulia Tan Sri Tengku Muhammad Taufik, CEO of Petronas, yang berbahagia Datuk Abdul Razak bin Abdul Majid, Chairman of TNB, yang berbahagia Datuk Indra Insinyur Baharin bin Din, CEO of TNB, senior government officials, media partners, esteemed speakers and distinguished guests. Let me begin by thanking our Honourable Prime Minister Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us on this historic occasion, the launch of Malaysia's National Energy Transition Roadmap, NETR. Datuk Seri, you have brought sustainability to the forefront of our nation's consciousness, and hence it is only right that you do the honours today. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the luminaries from the energy sector and other stakeholders for your presence and contributions thus far to this great national undertaking of ours. It is an honour for me as the NRECC Minister to share my thoughts on Malaysia's vision in decarbonising its power sector, which will be among the key enablers for the country to achieve our net zero aspirations. Indeed, given the scale and challenge of climate change, the energy transition is something that all countries will have to go through whether we like it or not. The question is whether we can do so successfully, equitably, and in doing so, transform our economy for the better. Ladies and gentlemen, the energy landscape in Malaysia has evolved rapidly in terms of efficiency, diversity, and sustainability. In fact, the sector has matured considerably from relying on fossil fuels to one which possesses a diverse energy mix, including from renewable sources, which now make up a quarter of our power capacity mix. Under the Paris Agreement, Malaysia has pledged to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions intensity per unit of GDP by 45% by the year 2030. And the best way to meet this is through the creation of a low-carbon energy sector. I believe the second part of the NETR, which will be unveiled later by the Prime Minister, shall provide us with the impetus to realise this. Ladies and gentlemen, the latest World Energy Transition Outlook report by IRENA, the International Renewable Energy Agency, indicated that renewable energy and energy efficiency can, in combination, provide over 90% of the necessary energy-related carbon dioxide emission reductions target under the Paris Agreement. It is important that Malaysia, in its pursuit of economic growth, balance its developmental objectives with environmental sustainability through efficiency in energy supply and demand. Our economic development thus far has been powered by oil and natural gas. However, these resources, which Malaysia is fortunately endowed with, are fast depleting. We must hence devise ways to keep energy resources and consumption in a sustainable equilibrium. Thus, the need to venture into low-emission technology is more pressing than ever. We need to transform our energy landscape and take a giant leap in reducing our dependence on conventional sources of energy. The government in May this year announced and enhanced an ambitious energy target of achieving 70% power installed renewable energy capacity in 2050. Malaysia has hit the ground running this year in ramping up the energy transition. We have, among other things, one, begun the transition to targeted electricity subsidies, as evidenced through the electricity tariff adjustments, We have also relaxed certain rules to allow more domestic users, factories, and offices to fully optimize the utilization of solar power towards achieving their ESG commitments. And 3, we will be working on phasing down and ultimately phasing out existing coal power plants. This shall enable Malaysia to have in place a lower carbon energy system as a precursor towards our net zero aspiration. These positive developments will ensure that Malaysia is able to create for our people and our businesses a cleaner and greener grid. A clean grid, in turn, is the key success factor for a sustainable energy future, which is a critical building block for the high income and developed nation status that Malaysia aspires to. Today, Malaysia must ensure we can supply clean and renewable energy to attract to our shores the economic activities of the future, such as data centers as well as high-paying jobs for our people. The 6 power-related catalytic projects announced previously under NETR are among the initiatives that will contribute towards the 70% renewable energy target and hence Malaysia's future economic competitiveness. As the Minister who oversees the electricity supply industry, you have my commitment that I will ensure the fruition of Malaysia's energy transition aspirations through a fair and just implementation process. I strongly believe that a progressive, robust and well-developed renewable energy sector will move Malaysia forward. We must embrace the energy transition and the wider sustainability agenda as a national mission. I would like to note that for this year's COP28 in Dubai, it will be graced by the presence of our King, His Majesty the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Also, our delegation will be led by our Prime Minister. This is proof that when it comes to sustainability, Malaysia's leaders lead from the front. Ladies and gentlemen, the Malaysian government has undertaken great strides to enhance our policy and regulatory structure while fostering a comprehensive ecosystem to expedite the energy transition. However, substantial transformations in energy production and consumption are still needed. This will entail much needed investments in grid development, strengthening and modernization. It is estimated that approximately 180 billion ringgit is required up to 2050 to develop a robust and flexible grid. I was informed that the TNB's current grid system performance is already at par with developed economies, with 0.18 system minutes and a SAIDI of 45.06 minutes. To ensure that we remain a cut above, further upgrades to the grid system in facilitating the intended energy transition is necessary. Hence, I urge TNB to provide the government with a grid development roadmap for higher renewable energy integration as a technical guide in enhancing and fine-tuning the implementation of sustainable energy policies and initiatives. This should take into account the expansion of electric vehicles and data centers, cross-border power integration, and the greater deployment of renewable energy projects, including those announced under the NETR. I would like to note here that the Energy Commission was recently the recipient of the Brand Laureate Best Brands Awards 2022-2023 under the category of Nation's Pride for Energy Sector Regulation Excellence. The award was given in recognition of its exemplary performance and achievements in driving our energy transition thus far. It was also recognized for its role in promoting energy security and sustainable development, as well as in adopting innovative practices towards ensuring a smooth transition to cleaner energy sources. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few short moments, the second part of the NETR will be unveiled. My colleague, the Minister of Economy, YB Rafizi, will speak about its contents. The roadmap will be Malaysia's overarching macro policy document covering our energy transition pathway for the power, transportation, manufacturing and oil and gas sectors. I again reaffirm the NRECC Ministry's commitment to supporting the implementation of the NETR as well as upholding the principle of a just and equitable energy transition. The NETR is the key we need to ensure that our energy transition, as I alluded to earlier, is successful, equitable, and positively transforms our economy. It is also arguably our bridge to the future, one which Malaysia no longer passively follows trends, but we now set the agenda and we lead, whether in Southeast Asia or, dare I say, globally. With our Hari Kebangsaan a few days away and Malaysia Day in sight, we must realize that the success or failure of our transition and climate action will determine the sort of legacy we leave for our children, the next generation of Malaysians. Every decision we make, every investment we undertake must be a building block for a better, brighter future, as the NB likes to remind us, and as we see in utility bills and posters around. Let me conclude by again thanking our Prime Minister for being here today, and I hope we will welcome you again to our next event, the International Green Tech and Eco Products Exhibition and Conference Malaysia 2023 in October. With that, I thank you all for your attention.